ClickOrlando.com awarded Best Local TV.
Live from ClickOrlando.com and WKMG, we're getting results in your neighborhood now at 5 a.m.
Now on News 6 Mornings, an arrest in a Lake County murder. The man police say shot and killed a store clerk, found after weeks on the run. The charges he's now facing.
Plus, a search for suspects after a violent home invasion. The photos police hope will lead them to the men responsible.
And a rematch on the debate stage. In just hours, President Biden and former President Trump set to go head-to-head on the issues. How this debate is different than previous ones. Well, good morning on your Thursday. It is 5 a.m. I'm Crystal Moyer.
And I'm Stephen Montiero. Bridget is off. I'll check on the roads in a moment. Don't worry. But first, listen, we got to talk about this weather. Meteorologist Candace Campos. And yesterday was interesting.
Yeah.
You called it. So.
It was an active day for some, while others didn't see anything. You know how it is here in Central Florida. But we are going to see rain chances not as widespread as today. A lot of our models kind of backing off some of that rain. So instead of it being like, let's say, a 60 to 70% like it has been, we're backing it down to about a 40 to 50%. As we take a live look outside right now, Cape Canaveral, there's Exploration Tower there in the distance. Right now, our breeze, not very strong, light out of the south at about 8 miles per hour. We're currently sitting at about 79 degrees right now under those clear skies, but certainly muggy. It's still certainly humid across Central Florida. Upper 70s, low 80s already at this hour. We're at 77 degrees in DeLand. Good morning to you guys in areas in and around northern Brevard County at 77 in Titusville, 77 as well in Lakeland. As we look at the heat index, we are still anticipating temperatures to once again climb. Still below the threshold of a heat advisory, but still certainly a hot one. We will be heating up and feeling more like 103 to 107 degrees. And then for those who are lucky, we'll get some rain. We're looking at a 50% chance of rain across our inland zones for today. Much lower, as it looks like the west coast sea breeze is really going to be kind of the dominating feature for today, pushing a lot of that action pretty quickly across the state. So although we can't completely rule out some rain, we obviously have a good chance it won't be as rocking or lasting as long into the evening. We'll have more details, the timing, and the tropics that are really starting to wake up in the last couple of days coming up in just a few minutes. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your pinpoint in traffic.
I know I'm not the only one, but yesterday it was hot.
It was.
Like gooey out there.
Gooey.
Yeah.
I might use that word.
Right? Come on.
Gooey.
Turnpike all clear this morning. There is some construction out there, so just be careful. No major closures. Downtown Orlando good. There are several spotty crashes out there this morning, but none currently blocking any travel lanes. So I-4 east and westbound in the Seminole County area looking nice. Altamont Springs checking out good. You're clear eastbound through Fern Park.
Developing now a break in the deadly shooting of a Leesburg store clerk. A suspect is now locked up after nearly a month on the run.
That's right. Investigators say this man right here was caught on camera barging into a convenience store earlier this month, then shooting and killing the worker behind the counter. News 6's Ezzy Castro joins us live from that scene. Now, Ezzy, that suspect was actually arrested and located in another county?
Yeah, we're told that he was arrested in the Kissimmee area with the help of a violent crime task force, which is why he was booked into the Osceola County Jail overnight. And take a look here. This is where it all happened nearly a month ago, all while the store clerk was just trying to do his job inside. And the store owner here that spoke to us a few weeks ago told us that the suspect only walked away with a few dollars, less than $100. We're going to hear more from the store clerk coming up in my next report at 5:30. For now, live in Leesburg, Ezzy Castro, Results, News 6.
Ezzy, thanks. We now know the name of a man shot and killed after getting into a shootout with Melbourne police. The whole thing taking place right in the middle of an apartment complex.
Did you hear the gunshot?
Hear a lot of gunshots there. Investigators say it was 47-year-old William Banks Jr. who was shot and killed at the Pentagon apartment complex off Strawbridge Avenue yesterday morning. And Melbourne police say they were originally called to the area to do a well-being check just before 8 a.m. However, investigators say as soon as officers knocked on the door, Banks started firing shots through the door and then the window. At one point, police say Banks came outside armed with a gun, forcing officers to shoot. Banks died at the scene.
New this morning, police in Ocoee are working to find out people behind a violent home invasion in which the suspects stormed into a house armed with a firearm. Investigators say it happened last Monday night along Regal River Circle. That's just off of Ocoee-Apopka Road and Ocoee Crown Point Parkway. Now, take a real close look here at these photos. Investigators say these men forced their way into the victim's home and then stole several items, including cash. Now, the suspects were last seen leaving the area in a dark Toyota Camry. Luckily, no one was hurt. However, if you have any information or recognize these men, you are encouraged to contact the detectives over at the Ocoee Police Department. Now to results 2024, where in just a matter of hours, President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump will face off on the debate stage.
Now it's the first time a presidential debate has ever been held this early, with both candidates saying they're ready. News 6's Mark Lehman is taking a closer look at what's at stake here. And Mark, tonight's performance has the potential to sway some undecided voters.
Yeah, the two candidates will likely face questions on key issues like the economy, immigration, and abortion rights. We also know things will be much different since their last debate in 2020, as there's a new set of rules. As for the changes on the debate stage, there's no audience, only the two moderators and studio crew. The microphones will also be muted except for the candidate whose turn it is to speak. Now, another rule that's in place is no pre-written notes will be allowed on stage, only a pen and paper. The 90-minute debate begins at 9 tonight. Crystal?
Thank you, Mark. A wild crash in Marion County after a district school bus ends up slamming right into a home. So here's a closer look at that scene near Marion Oaks Trail and Southwest 31st Avenue Road. Investigators say a driver of a pickup truck went through a stop sign and then hit that bus, causing it to veer off the road and into the home. Now, good thing here, luckily no students were on board. Both drivers suffered minor injuries but are expected to be okay.
Happening today, another planned rocket launch from our coast as SpaceX gears up to send its latest round of Starlink internet satellites into orbit. Teams will attempt to launch a Falcon 9 rocket carrying those 23 satellites from the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station this morning. And right now, the launch window opens at 7:14, but there are backup opportunities through 11 a.m. When it happens, you could see it live right here on News 6, clickorlando.com, and our streaming channel, News 6 Plus. And Candace, obviously, we were seeing some of those storms yesterday later on into the afternoon and into the evening. How are things looking for this launch happening in the morning?
We're looking good. You know, the last couple of days, the last launch, we were sending up the weather satellite. It was only a 30% go, and they were able to get it off the ground. So certainly much better conditions than if they would have been doing this in the middle of the afternoon. But we are still tracking some scattered showers already along our Gulf Coast counties. If they do hold, they will start clipping areas of Sumter and Marion County within the next hour or so, but still expected to really fizzle out as it makes its way closer to at least our viewing area. In the meantime, it's a dry, mostly clear start across Central Florida. Certainly muggy out there. We're in the mid to upper 70s right now across our inland zones. Along the beaches, including right now at the Cape, we're holding steady at 79 degrees. So here is your forecast for the launch. 77 will be your temperature by about 7:15 this morning. Overall, with the limited cloud cover this morning, many areas here in Central Florida will be able to get a quick glimpse of it. Not a lot of cloud cover kind of blocking the view, I guess. Launch probability as of now, it's a 90% go. If you have the day to go watch a launch and enjoy the beach forecast is looking pretty good as well. Rip current risk, though, still in the moderate range, so we will be flying that orange flag for today. And the surf, not too bad, about 1 to 2 feet. We're going to be pinpointing what's going on much further out into the ocean when it comes to those tropics coming up in just a few minutes. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your pinpoint traffic on this Thursday.
We had to think there for a second. Listen, if you are listening to her forecast and you're like, man, I'm going to go out to the beach today and check out this rocket early in the morning, do me a favor, do not stop along 528 or the roadways. Just find a nice parking lot out there and you're going to be good to go. Seminole County, you guys are nice and clear this morning. No issues to start out. Castleberry, Red Bug Lake Road, all the way over to Tuscaloosa. Now, there is some active construction on the north end of 417 along your ramps, but nothing that's going to shut you down this morning. Just make sure that you're currently paying attention.
The time is now 5:10. Changes are on the way for utility customers in Sanford, and it could impact your money.
That's right. Coming up, the changes being made to the city's water meters and how it could end up costing you more.
But first, a violent attack in North Florida that deputies say all started with a video game. Up next, the man now locked up after flying thousands of miles to confront a fellow gamer.
This portion of the news is sponsored by AutoNation. No matter what's happening where you live, trust Sky 6 to get you the bigger picture. Exclusively sponsored by attorney Dan Newland.
After deputies say he got so angry over a video game, he actually flew to Florida and tried to kill someone. Investigators in Nassau County near Jacksonville arrested 20-year-old Edward Kang. Deputies say he was playing a game called Archage, an online fantasy game with the victim. It's unclear exactly what happened, but the sheriffs say Kang got so upset he flew into town, went to the man's home, and hit the victim several times with a hammer.
Mr. King, it's going to be a long time before you play video games again.
Investigators say the victim's father heard the screams and was able to wrestle Kang to the ground until deputies arrived. He's now facing several charges, including attempted murder and burglary.
Wow. Well, turning to Seminole County and your money, residents in Sanford could soon see some changes to their water bill. That's because the city is in the process of upgrading every single one of their water meters. Officials say in all, about 25,000 of them will be replaced with new ones that are automated. The city says most likely your bill will change, and there's a chance it could go even higher, but it will also be more accurate. Currently, Sanford has a system where workers drive by and actually read the meters.
The customer can manage their budget much better, and we can respond to problems in the system more readily.
The city says homeowners will get a notice on their door 2 days to 2 weeks before work begins on those water meters. However, officials say it could take up to 2 years before the system is fully upgraded.
All right, from food to diapers and clothes, dozens of expected parents in Osceola County were treated to a community baby shower.
It's way more than I expected. Like, I know that they had said they were going to give us like baby stuff, but I didn't expect all of it.
Look at that smile. The Heart of Florida United Way hosted the 4th annual event down in Kissimmee. 75 families, including new and expected parents who are experiencing financial hardship, were invited to stock up on everything that they need. Organizers say they hope the supplies will give parents and their little ones a strong start. All right, fans of Lady Gaga will certainly give the next story plenty of applause.
The star's newest wax figure is now on display in Orlando. Take a look. Madame Tussauds shared these photos with us showing their new addition. Gaga's figure is based on her look from the 2022 BAFTA Awards, in which she wore a green velvet dress. It also features her trademark paws up stance, a tribute to her fan base. You know, they call themselves little monsters.
That actually looks pretty good.
They do a good job with those wax figures.
I was going to say it, but it doesn't say it comes across bad. It's like, wow, that looks real. But maybe she resembles like a wax figure because she's so like... Guys, I'm sorry, but it just is what it is, all right?
Okay.
I mean...
Candace and I were like...
Don't put the wax figure out in the weather today.
Yeah, I know. It'll be melting. Everything is just like, you know,
the Gaga
droopy.
fans are going to be like, Steve, really? She's got great skin.
I mean, right. Let's talk about your weather forecast. You know what? Here in Central Florida, all the humidity and all the moisture is great for our skin. You know, when you go up north and it's all dry, you're all itchy and, you know, so that's why Central Florida has great skin.
That Gaga skin.
That Gaga skin.
All right. Save us, Candace. Looking here at the weather story, I got us also into this mix, too. Heat indices for the next couple of days. It is going to be a sweaty mess, as once again, it is going to be hot. 102 to 108 will be our forecast. Feels like temperatures. Still below that 109, which the moment we get past 109, that's when we will have that chance of seeing a heat advisory, but we are still below that criteria. Then throughout the day, another round of those afternoon thunderstorms, although it will be widespread. We're going to continue to see scattered showers go from west to east, but that real strong collision zone isn't really being picked up a lot by the models, and I'll show you why in just a few moments. But as you can see here, tropics. The tropics are getting kind of active over the last couple of hours. We are watching 2 tropical waves and a lot of dust. Looking at our temperatures out the door right now, we are starting off in the mid to upper 70s. Now let's check on your hour-by-hour forecast for today.
Your weather forecast is sponsored by Fairwinds.
All right, your highest for today about 93, and then our rain chances will go up. For the past couple of afternoons, our rain chances were about 60 to 70%. Today, it's about a 40 to 50%. So we're going to trend it down a little bit. It's not going to be dry, just not as booming and as long-lasting as it has been for the past few mornings. So one thing for sure, though, everyone, widespread, will be feeling those 100-degree temperatures. So let's talk about the tropics. There's lots to talk about. We're watching two main tropical waves. One has a low chance of development as it moves into more into the Western Caribbean and Central America. But it's this secondary tropical wave. It's it's not a usual thing to see tropical waves develop this far east in the Atlantic this time of the year. We just have extremely warm temperatures out there when it comes to our ocean temperatures or sea surface temperatures. So because of that, the National Hurricane Center is giving it a high 70% chance of development in the next 7 days. I just wanted to show you real quick. We have a big ridge of high pressure, but it's shifted so far out in the middle of the Atlantic. It's going to continue to drive this tropical wave right back into areas of the Caribbean. Could become a named storm later on this weekend. If it does, our next name on the list, by the way, is Beryl. As we get results here with a full 7-day forecast, as of now, no tropical concerns, although we could be tapping into some Saharan dust as we head into the weekend, making our sunrises and sunsets a little extra special. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your pinpoint traffic.
Beryl?
Beryl, B-E-R-Y-L.
If your name, I've never heard of anybody named Beryl. Well, we're going to name the hurricane Beryl, or the storm, whatever. 417 looking good this morning. Listen, there is some ramp work over towards Red Bug Lake Road, so I just need you to be careful. Airport traffic looking good this morning, but a lot of flights delayed yesterday with some of the weather, so please be careful and check those times. Roadways nice and clear, 436 and 528 east and westbound. And the Florida Turnpike, our southern portions here as you make your way towards US 192, nice and clear here. No major construction on our south end, but if you're headed towards State Road 60, you could run into a minor lane closure down towards like Canoe Creek. 417 right now, though, at OBT, DOT cam showing we're looking pretty good north and southbound.
All right, the time is now 5:21 on your Thursday. A local amusement park making big changes in hopes of improving safety.
At the bottom of the hour, what Fun Spot now requiring for those under the age of 21. But first, a consumer alert involving Volkswagen SUVs, the company issuing a big recall. Up next, the key safety system that could fail during a crash.
It's about making our neighborhood safer. Channel 6 has been instrumental in getting our story out there.
There's no other state with weather like Florida.
Or drivers.
We both live here, we love it here.
Not only am I Floridian and grew up here in Central Florida, but I patrol these streets right here in our area. It's not always about enforcement. It's about making sure you get to where you're going safely.
Personally, my mornings are always just so hectic with the kids, so I like to deliver the weather that's quick, simple, and effective. And as Floridians, we know what we're talking about.
You gotta watch before you go.
Well, still to come on News 6 Mornings, a big break in the case of a Leesburg store clerk shot and killed on the job.
Yeah, at the bottom of the hour, the man now locked up and facing charges accused of carrying out the violent robbery.
Live from clickorlando.com and WKMG, we're getting results.
An arrest weeks after the murder of a local convenience store clerk. The new details that we've learned about the suspect overnight as he gets set to face a judge.
Plus, a small plane crashes right into a family's backyard in Volusia County. The investigation underway to figure out what happened as the two people on board recover in the hospital.
And a major change for a popular local attraction. Why Fun Spot says anyone under 21 will now need a chaperone if they want to get inside. Good morning, Central Florida. I'm Stephen Montiero. Bridget has the day off.
And I'm Crystal Moyer. We want to start with a check of your pinpoint weather with meteorologist Candace Campos. We know more storms are on the way, but things will be a little different today.
Yeah, not as widespread. So we've been really watching that fight between the east and west coast sea breeze every afternoon, where some of the storms linger as late as about 8, 9 o'clock at night. Now, today we will certainly have some storms. It just won't be as booming or as long lasting because we're not really seeing a real drastic collision today. That's just today. Looking at a downtown Orlando sky cam right now, brought to you by Light Orlando, delivering hope. We're still delivering a whole lot of heat and humidity across Central Florida right now. The humidity level's up to 97%. Our temperatures currently holding in the mid-70s. We're in the mid to upper 70s across our inland zones already, though. Cocoa Beach are getting in on the 80s already. But throughout the day, our highs today will be about 93 to 94. Certainly feeling much hotter than that. We'll be pinpointing the timing of today's storms and a look at the tropics, of course, coming up in just a few minutes. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your pinpoint traffic.
Roadways looking pretty good this morning if you're transitioning between Orange and Brevard County. 528 looking good, so is 520. It is humid out there, so please be careful. Minor crashes reported here and there, but nothing that's really slowing us down yet. Brevard County, good morning to you guys. 95 all clear, even southern portions through Satellite Beach. Maybe if you're waking up early this morning and you're headed out, nice and clear along US 1.
Thanks, Steve. Developing this morning, a murder suspect on the run for nearly a month is now in custody. Police in Leesburg announcing the arrest of Alex Lopez late last night, weeks after they say he walked into a convenience store, then shot and killed the clerk working inside.
Extra law enforcement will be at Seminole High School today after police say they caught a 16-year-old on campus with the loaded gun. District officials say they got the tip about the weapon yesterday. A school resource officer then confronted the teen who was there attending summer school. That's when police say the gun, along with a magazine containing nearly a dozen rounds of ammunition, was found in his backpack. Police say the boy never made any threats to use that weapon. He's now facing multiple charges.
2 people are recovering from injuries this morning after their small plane crashed right into a family's backyard in Volusia County. This happened yesterday afternoon on Lake Molly Avenue, right near the DeLand Municipal Airport. The family says they heard a loud bang and initially thought it was thunder, then minutes later saw rescue crews rushing into their backyard.
I looked at one lady and I said, what's wrong? Is everything okay? And she goes, you have a plane down in your backyard. I said, what?
That's not something you expected someone to say to you.
No. Absolutely not.
We're told the 2 people were alert when they were taken to the hospital, but we haven't gotten any other updates on their condition. The FAA has been called in to investigate. Now to results 2024, and the countdown is on to tonight's first debate between President Biden and former President Trump.
That's right. It's the first time the 2 rivals will come face to face on the debate stage since October of 2020. And for both men, there are a lot of things on the line.
And Mark, you know, this debate is going to happen earlier than years past. Why is that?
Well, it's actually the earliest televised debate in U.S. history, and one reason for that is because both candidates agreed to for a different set of rules on this, and both candidates ran away with their party's nominations. It's actually not sponsored by the Commission on Presidential Debates. Both campaigns have criticized the organization for some of its rules and agreed to an earlier schedule.
All right. Thanks, Mark.
Appreciate that, man. And you can actually watch that tonight on WKMG. It starts at 9 o'clock. We'll also post a full wrap-up over at clickorlando.com.
A major change this morning for Fun Spot. The popular attraction says if you're under 21, you'll need a chaperone. Initially, the company posted on social media the change would be in place on Saturday, reportedly due to online posts about a takeover event in the works. But later, Fun Spot posted the policy would take effect immediately. We spoke to former Orlando police chief and law enforcement expert Orlando Rolone about the change.
Being that they're so customer driven, I think what they're doing is in the best interest of everyone who comes and enjoys their parks.
Fun Spot says chaperones need to be 21 or older and can only be responsible for up to 2 guests. The company says there will be exceptions made for pre-registered groups and large families that visit the parks together.
Well, the Orlando Magic have officially made their first pick in the NBA draft.
The Orlando Magic select Tristan da Silva from Munich, Germany.
Some fans fired up to hear the news. The 6'8" forward is from Germany and played 4 seasons at Colorado. The team had the 18th overall pick in the draft. And in case you're wondering who was number 1, well, that was Zachary Rees-Sawshaw. The 19-year-old from France had been playing in his home country, but will now join the Atlanta Hawks. All right, pretty interesting stuff. Always adding to the team there. Now over to meteorologist Candace Campos, and little less than yesterday?
Yeah, some indoor basketball rather than outside court basketball, I think. Temperatures once again today are going to be running just a few degrees above average. Our average for this time of the year, Steve, is at 91. We're hitting a high of 93. Although, you know, these temperatures really don't mean much. It's going to be what the feels like temperatures are going to be, and we're going to be right back into those triple digits. Now, we are going to be seeing some rain in the forecast for today, but I do want to show you that we're going to be tapping into some of that Saharan dust that's very common this time of the year. Throughout June and July, we tend to see that big plume kind of roll off the coast of Africa. We're going to see some minor air quality concerns starting up pretty much late Sunday, early next week, but certainly get ready for some pretty vibrant sunrises and sunsets over the next few days. Here's a wide view of what's going on tropically. We are watching two tropical waves right now, one with a low chance in the Caribbean, and then one that's kind of a little more unusual in the far eastern tropical Atlantic. And we're looking at the potential for more tropical formation, especially with that system further out in the open waters. Could be barrel, though, by the weekend. We'll have more details on the tropics and a look at the timing of today's rain coming up in just a few minutes. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your pinpoint traffic.
Thank you, Candace. Right now, things still pretty good. South Brevard County, no problems there along A1A, nice and clear. You're pretty clear down towards the Satellite Beach and Melbourne area. Osceola County, same thing will apply within that area. No crashes, too, on the southern portions of the Turnpike. Now, there is some construction down the south end as you make your way towards Old Canoe Creek, but nothing that's going to delay you. Yesterday out on patrol, I was hanging out with the Seminole County Sheriff's Office. Captain Shaw here, amazing man here. They are actively hiring, so make sure you head over to their website and visit clickorlando.com and watch that stream. Today, I'll be back out at Orange County Animal Services trying to find a fur baby a forever home, so make sure you join me at 10 a.m. at clickorlando.com. And I will be coming right back after the break to answer one of your questions.
Yeah, today we're talking about school zones during the summer. Plus, local condo owners getting hit with huge bills from their HOA, the new state laws being blamed, and what some are having to do just to be able to pay.
Trooper Steve on Patrol is sponsored by Gibson Truck World. We are the king of trucks.
Traffic doesn't happen in here. It happens out here and here. I'm traffic safety expert Trooper Steve. And yes, I am a real state trooper. I grew up here. I'm the only traffic expert who's actually investigated crashes, who's patrolled these roads. I know how that traffic is going to affect your morning commute. So if you want real advice from my real experience on your Central Florida roads, you got to start here and you got to watch before you go.
Live with Bridget Ellison, Crystal Moyer, weather with meteorologist Candace Campos, and Central Florida's only traffic safety expert, Trooper Steve. This is News 6 Mornings, getting results.
It is Thursday, and that means it's time to answer the questions that you guys send in to me. And this is the question that we're talking about here, and this is more of a gripe, I think. Am I still required to do 20 miles an hour during the summer, even if I know school is not in session? Let's talk about this for a second, please. I do not care what time of the year it is, what time of the day it is. If these things are flashing within a school zone, that means that that is enforceable during that time. Think about it. There are activities that take place throughout the summer, wintertime, or even at the evening, so the school district does have control when to activate this stuff. Also, there are standard operating times. So do yourself the favor, if you're traveling out there and you're by a school, one, you should be paying attention anyway, but if this is flashing and active, then you need to be paying attention to it. If you have a question you want me to answer it, just let us know on our website. Head on over to clickorlando.com/AskTrooperSteve.
Well, more and more local condo owners are contacting us here at News 6 saying recent changes to state law are leading their HOAs to stick them with huge bills. People living at the Surfside Club South Complex in Ormond Beach saying just the last few years they've been hit with over $100,000 in special assessments and fees. Their association says the money is needed to pay for mandatory inspections and mandate that financial reserves must be fully funded.
I'm a retired teacher, so we don't have hundreds of thousands set aside somewhere that we can contribute. So it put me in a position where I needed to return to work.
Wow, realtors say all the changes are leading to more people putting their condos on the market. However, many are hesitant to buy because they're afraid of getting stuck with those huge bills.
My goodness. All right, soccer practice is canceled at one field in Illinois. Look at this today, all because My gosh, take a look. Part of the field is just gone after a massive sinkhole opened up. Now, this is in Alton, just over the border from St. Louis, Missouri. That hole is about 100 feet wide and 30 feet deep. It even swallowed a light pole. Fortunately, no one was injured or any reports of anything like that. But can you imagine the property manager at this point? We all know how field managers are.
Wow.
Timing is
You guys like the
though.
sports guy? My gosh, that thing is huge.
I mean, the grass still looks nice even going down the hole. So it's all intact still.
Silver lining.
Good irrigation system.
Yeah, really. Jeez. There must have been something going on
Right.
there beforehand. Oh, my goodness. Sinkholes just make me so nervous.
Yeah, definitely.
Because Florida here, you know, we have so much notice of our stuff like storms and hurricanes and fronts. You know, we're not used to like earthquakes and things just like, you know, happening here. So I feel like that's like our version of, you know, sinkholes. All right, let's talk about your weather forecast out the door for your Thursday. It is June 27th. We're on the last couple days of June, and we're really starting to feel that summertime pattern really sticking with us. You can see we're going to be feeling more like 100 to 108 degrees for today. It's certainly going to be a muggy morning. We're still looking mostly dry, just picking up a couple of lone showers across our far western communities in Sumter and far western Marion County. We do have a launch scheduled today around 7:14 officially, around it to 7:15. But we are anticipating a successful launch weather-wise. And then later on today, we're going to be pinpointing some spotty storms that will be developing. Nothing extremely widespread for today. Rain chances back off just a little bit today just because of the timing of the sea breezes. Temperatures out the door right now on your Thursday. One day closer towards that weekend, we're in the mid to upper 70s, already hitting 80 degrees in Cocoa Beach. But now let's check on your hour-by-hour forecast for today.
Your forecast is sponsored by Publix.
All right, your highs for today up to about 93 to 94. Rain chances, again, not as high as what they have been for the past couple of days, about a 40% throughout the 2-3 o'clock hour. And we're going to continue to keep our eyes, of course, on the tropics. No concerns for us here locally, but certainly looking at a very stormy setup each and every afternoon. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your pinpoint traffic.
We're still doing pretty good this morning. No major issues out there. South Osceola County, good morning to you guys. Kenansville, 441, Holapaw, all the way down to State Road 60. Turnpike checking out good, also known as State Road 91. You come out here to St. Cloud, just south of 13th Street, also known as US 192. Oh, also known as Earl O. Bronson Memorial Highway. Nice and clear out here from your grid streets all the way up here towards Hunters Creek area. Nice and clear along Landstar, even Land Street, OBT, John Young Parkway. We're nice and clear, Buenaventura, and as you make your way through the airport.
Well, new research is out when it comes to multivitamins.
Ahead at 6, why one study says taking one every day may not have as many benefits as first thought.
But first, an arrest weeks after a local store clerk was shot and killed on the job. The new details we've learned about the suspect now in custody next as we check our big stories.
Trooper Steve on Patrol is sponsored by Gibson Truck World. We are the king of trucks. When every minute matters, News 6 is getting you all the facts and every detail that matters to you. For breaking.
It is 5:55. Let's check our big stories. A man accused of shooting and killing a convenience store clerk in Leesburg is now in custody. A special task force arrested Alex Lopez last night, nearly a month after the victim was found at the M&M Food Mart off of US 441.
We now know it was a 47-year-old man killed in a shootout with police in Melbourne. Officers shot William Banks yesterday after police say he fired at them first at the Pentagon apartment complex on Strawbridge Avenue.
And President Biden and former President Trump will face off tonight in their first debate in the 2024 election season. This one, though, will be different with no audience and the candidates' mics turned off when it's not their turn to speak. Another launch from our coast now a little more than an hour away.
That's right, ahead at 6, what SpaceX is hoping to send up into orbit on their Falcon 9 rocket. Plus, a crime alert in a local neighborhood. The help police are asking for this morning after several suspects forced their way inside a home armed with a gun.
Go to clickorlando.com and sign up to be an insider so I can bring you exclusive contests, stories, and behind-the-scenes footage.